What if the best parts of you start where no one can see and then grow into something everyone could feel? This is the cost of starting backwards. Meaning with something measurable, then tangible, then visible, and then invisible. You get the point. There's principles of this world that we in. This could be as simply as, for my entrepreneurs, buying a course. Nothing against courses. No shots at nobody. But it's first about mindset. Here's the proof. Start with something measurable. Measurable is something that could be managed, or something that could be taught, something you can teach because you measured it. Start there, then it becomes tangible. You start doing the things. Start because you tried a course. Paid for a course, you tried it. Now you're doing the things. And then you're seeing the things, which is visible. And then what happens? Invisible. It just disappears. The cost, you become psychologically enervated, which I just learned that word yesterday from my daughter. She sat me down and tried to teach me a couple words, and she said, what does enervated means? What does enervated mean? I didn't have a clue. She said it's more poetic. It's draining, psychologically draining, spiritually bankrupt. So you're trying things. It only leads to that invisible part. Or if that thing that you're doing is really working on you, it's working on your soul, you'll grow from it, even though it's the long way. So it'll become invisible. A long time ago, once upon a time, you could have labeled me as a drug dealer, but it wasn't about me dealing drugs. Now, from where I come from, it was a system. Everybody did it. This is years ago, once upon a time. So, it was a system. It was measurable. I could see it, which was visible, tangible. I could see the things. I could see the drugs. It was tangible. It was perceptible by touch. I could touch it. It was tangible. I could see it, which was visible. But then me going on that journey of selling drugs, of that, this is a negative connotation, of making people feel good, like a dopamine rush, in a negative way, in a negative impact. I was not making people's lives better. I'll explain that in a second. Went to prison, and everything that whole system became invisible. I was working backwards. I was not working with my soul in cadence, in flow with my soul. It was just something that was measurable, that I could see, and it became easy. Let me throw a little tip in about mindset too. It's just like, in the streets they call it a kilo, but it's in the streets they call it key, short, for short. A key is sound, like a keys on a piano. So this is about those that see that that becomes visible to them, that actual tangible key, it's about sound. So not everybody in the streets gets to see a key, because it's about the sound, how sound you are. It's a little secret. Not everybody. Everybody can do the low level things. But key, to actually see it and make it tangible in that field, in that arena, it's about sound. It's about conviction. So that's when I knew, when that happened and I went to prison and I moved to this state, I had to be introspective. So this is where this title got inspired from. From that point in my life to now. So how do I become spiritually mature? How can I make things how can I manifest things from the invisible to visible, to then tangible, and then measurable? You have to become spiritually mature in these times right now. It's imperative. There's no other way around it. So all that new age, or whatever you call it, people call it new age, all that mumbo jumbo about everything being so far-fetched, it is cosmic. It is godly. But you have to learn how to create a system where from invisible to visible, then tangible, and then measurable. So me telling you a little bit about me in my past, decades ago. And I'm not a dinosaur neither. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough. Some wisdom to me. I wouldn't be here doing this. I had to learn how to become a great salesman. And you know what's funny? Because when it starts from the internal, from invisible, you have to be a farmer. This is like about manifesting. It's true. People talk about it. You know, you plant a seed. It starts, you got to know how to be a farmer. You got to know the cycles of the moon, the sun, the days, when to plant. With your nature, you have your own nature. You got to know when, how. That's how you become one of the best farmers. Like this, what does an apple tree have to do to bear apples? Nothing. It just has to be an apple tree. It's about the seeds you plant. You don't have to oscillate or do anything else. You could be you. You could put it in that perspective. You could just be you. But the things that you're thinking about or feeling is what comes out the ground in fruits. Reap what you sow. Same thing. You have to become a farmer when it comes to manifestation. You have to be aware of the seeds that you plant. So it doesn't have to try to not bear oranges. It just has to be an apple tree. But in reference to that story about my past, I had to become a salesman. And the irony is that to become a great salesman means you're a boatman, a yachtsman. It's correlated to the sea, yet people don't talk about it. Let me emphasize on that. Let me clarify this perspective. Some people resist the tides. This is about, being a salesman in your business or whatever. Some people, this is where salespeople drown, because you have to be a good boatman. You got to know how to sell. Sell, 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 sell. Some people salesmen resist tides instead of learning the waters, observing the currents, observing your current state. It's a lot to do with mindset, spiritual maturity. Don't forget that. Calm waters, your alignment is on point. Unfavoring waters, rough waters, there's a distortion within you. Can't forget about the wind. So the thoughts that you have is like the winds. They come in and out. The thoughts that you have, they're like the wind. The thoughts about your market, the thoughts of like simply how you feel when you're selling. Am I convincing enough? Why would they buy from me? Is my price too expensive? These are the things that keep your sales flappy or limp. So you can't sell. Can't sell because the market will be the waters. Have you ever heard that expression or phrase, keep your head above water? The waters will be the emotions that dwell in that market. You just have to know those waters in order to sell, to know the currents. Let's not forget about the wind, the thoughts. So to keep your sale, you have to have a good sound mind. Let's not forget about a stowaway. A stowaway is somebody like that rides in a vehicle without you knowing. So a presence in your vehicle, in your ship, in your car without you knowing, just hiding away and going along for the ride. And you don't know it's there. This would be associated to a limiting belief. Just like I said before. Is my price too high? Will people buy from me? Like, why me? Why do I? How do I feel about my product, my service? This is associated to selling. Let's make it a little bit biblical. Noah in the Bible built the ark before it rained. You know what was that? This is invisible. Conviction, frequency, energy. His energy was on point. His frequency was on point. His conviction was on point. He didn't need no applause on building that ark. He built it before it rained. It's about mindset first. So his leverage became his obedience. No, his obedience was his leverage. Better said. His obedience to his intuition, to his godly message, was his leverage. Leverage meaning the difference between input and outcome. It was just his obedience that created leverage. Nobody else had leverage. It was a flood. So that's the perspective. So this is why you have to see, look, that's how you become a great salesman. Because your arc can save so many people's lives. And this is why I work with entrepreneurs and create systems that are from invisible. First is a mindset thing. If you're stuck at a certain point and you want to grow from that money-wise, or if you just stuck in between, knowing that there's something else to it. It's not just tactics and strategies, not just courses or things of that nature. It's more tacit knowledge than explicit knowledge. It's things under the surface that I know that I should be aware of to grow with soul and to grow in this material world. I work with those people and create systems that are from the invisible to visible, then tangible, and then measurable. Meaning, measurable, you can manage it or teach it, whichever one you choose. I work with entrepreneurs because it's unshakable faith to even have that desire. See, how I define entrepreneur is someone who finds a way to make people's lives better and get richly rewarded doing so. Have to be able to solve problems for others. And just like my story, my backstory, I knew there was another way. So I'm just doing it at a higher consciousness, higher frequency. I strongly believe in what I do because it's soul first. So that's how I define entrepreneur. So let's break down from invisible to be spiritually mature. You got to invisible to visible, then tangible, then measurable. So invisible would be like your beliefs, your conviction. How do you feel about the thing that you're doing? How do you think about yourself when you're doing these things? Are the invisible part, conviction. Visible. If you feel good, whether how you feel good or not, forget about the feeling. It starts with a knowing. You'll start seeing it in your reality. Things will pop up on your phone or whatever. Your employees will start talking about it. You would start seeing it in your reality. That's the visible part. Then tangible. This is like a seed, same thing. You'll start seeing it in your reality. Tangible. Then the seed sprouts. You would start doing the things associated to that system or goal or belief that you have. But then you have to become a scientist. You have to become a scientist. You have to make it measurable. You have to develop a system because then you can manage it. then you can keep it. It won't turn invisible after a while. You won't move backwards. You could keep it. You could keep that material thing, whatever it is. So it's not only about money, but that desire is a desire from God as well. It's just what you do with your money. So back to being a great salesman. This is another tip. In order to be a great salesman or entrepreneur, you'll face, this is a little secret, you'll face the winds going, like you sailing against the winds. The resistance. This will come from, this is a secret, man. This will come from your vision. If your vision doesn't create resistance in your reality, this is a principle. I think I said this before in prior videos. If you don't face that, it's not healing you. You're actually just doing these things backwards. Like, oh, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, and it doesn't work. If that vision that you have for your business or you doesn't create like a resistance where it afflicts you internally and you have to grow from that, and it's testing your might. It's about your frequency, and it's testing that. Call it a test, but it's not. It's really you against you. Person in the mirror. You don't grow from that, then it's a distraction. So you're sailing against the winds. There's two ways to sail against the wind. I think you call it tacking. It goes like this. You're sailing against the wind. So the wind is coming this way, towards you. Tacking. So it's like you failing forward. That's what it feels like. So you're moving like a zigzag pattern. So it's upward. But you going against it. So you got to go away from it. You got to learn to adapt and transmute. Or wearing, something that it's called wearing. It's like this. So you go up and you loop around, which is called the long way. And you do the same pattern. You loop around, and you go against the wind. Entrepreneurship, salesman is also being a boatman, a yachtsman, a sailor, sail the 7 seas. Gave you analogies, perspectives, some insight. So, for my entrepreneurs who I addressed, I have created a system because I worked on it so much. It's actually working on me as well. I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2. Sneak peek. A sneak peek. I'll give you 2. From low self-awareness to reactive business or reactive life. This is just the components I'm giving you. So, and then from emerging alignment to tactical growth in life or business. Those are just the components. The inner workings and the mechanics, I can't just give that away. I can't just give it away. So, if you understood this perspective, or a way to become spiritually mature, drop an anchor. hit me up on my email, and we could work on something. I got you. Hit my email, and we could do something. And yeah, what we gonna do, man? We gonna keep it infinite, right? Yeah, let's keep it infinite, man. High frequency, boosting high frequency, man. Balance, boost, Bundy, infinite equity, man.